Hey, you know how I read you the book about Fred the tree who lives right here? Well, now I'm going to read you another book about something that lives right here also, but this thing lives in the water, and it's a manatee. Manatees are big, and they live in the water. Slow Down for Manatees by Jim Arnosky. He's a really good author that I like, and he does the illustrations too, which were really fun in this book. Here we go. Oh, look. See that? That's an iguana. On a warm Florida morning at the edge of a shimmering canal, a manatee munched on the low-hanging mangrove leaves. See, he's underwater, under where those trees are. Remember the mangroves I showed you in the other book and in the Fred book? And so he likes to eat the leaves of the mangoes. And there's that iguana. It's a big kind of lizard, right? The manatee ate only the young and tender leaves. And then she submerged and swam down the center of the canal, passing under a floating flock of pelicans. So there she is. Oh, that's the pelican. There's the pelicans from above. So we're looking down in the water, like down in the water. There's the manatee, and there's the pelicans. That's their backs, the wings, and the neck and the head. And beak, rather. Sorry, that's their beak. That's their head. They have a big beak. I'll have to find a book about pelicans. The manatee moved very slowly. She wasn't in a hurry. She had all the time in the world and a world of water to explore. Uh-oh, what's that? It's a boat coming. So there's the pelicans swimming along, and there's the manatee underwater with the fish, taking her time, checking out the scenery. The manatee came to a hump in the sandy bottom and rose in the shallow water to glide over it. But just as she did, she heard the loud sound of a boat coming fast. Look at, the pelican left fast. There it goes. There's the manatee under the water. There's the boat. Oh no. The boat hit her and pushed her down, crushing her ribs against the bottom, and sharp propeller blades cut into her back and her tail. Wounded badly, she rolled on her side and drifted with the outgoing tide. Oh, look. She's hurt, the poor thing. So she's on her own. Look. This really happens to manatees. It's really important that the boaters slow down in the canals where the manatees like to hang out. Most people do, but sometimes they don't because they think being in wherever they have to go in a hurry is more important. Some fishermen saw her, and soon help was on the way. But it took all afternoon and some heavy equipment for rescuers to get the wounded and frightened manatee out of the canal and onto a truck. So see, it was evening. See, the sun's setting all day. And look, they had to have a big, because manatees are giant, had to have a big crane to lift her up. And the iguana, see the pretty iguana? Well, interesting iguana. Anyways, watching. But the men are going to help her. They took her to a seaside aquarium and carefully placed her in a special holding tank. The manatee sunk slowly and rested on the tank bottom. I bet she's missing her mangroves. See the trees? So there she is. She's at the bottom of the tank. See, the people are up here looking down at her. Poor manatee. Yeah. Early the next morning, divers got right in the tank with the manatee and gently examined her wounds. One of the divers noticed a bulge in the manatee's belly and realized she was carrying a calf inside. So you know how cow babies are called calves? Manatee babies are called calves as well. So she's got a baby in her. The exciting news spread quickly, and everyone at the aquarium came to see the fish. There's the manatee with the divers underwater, and they're all checking her out to see what they can do to help her. Each day, while the manatee's ribs slowly mended and her wounds healed, the aquarium visitors crowded around the tank to look. They snapped pictures and they reached out to touch the water. And every time she came up for air, they cheered. Look, so there's the iguana, but look at this. This is a neat picture. So here's the manatee down in the water, and looking up, there's all the people around the edge of the tank looking at her, taking pictures. Aw. The people loved the manatee, and week by week she gradually became accustomed to the attention. But her world, once boundless, had shrunk to the size of the tank. One night, long after the aquarium gates had closed and all the people had gone home, she gave birth to her tiny calf. Look, oh, isn't he so sweet? Baby and mother were both healthy and strong. Oh, look at that. Aw, she had her baby. The baby manatee rose in the tank for its first breath of air. Then he swam back down to his mother's side. Oh, look. You can see the stars. Like that. There's the baby manatee coming up for his first breath of air. Because just like dolphins, which are fish, and dolphins, which are mammals, dolphins, which are mammals, meaning like you and me, we're mammals, have to breathe air. Manatees have to breathe air too. So they can go underwater for a long time, but then they have to come up and have some air, and then they dive back down. They nuzzled noses, and the mother nursed her baby. So she's feeding the baby. Aw. And you're looking up out of the tank, you can see the moon and the stars. The next day, the aquarium workers came to see the newborn. Mother and calf swam round and round inside the confining tank, and everyone agreed it was time for the manatee and her baby to be returned to the wild. Look at, there's a parrot, and look at flamingos! Yay! There's the mama and the baby. The manatees were released side by side in the same canal where the mother was found. As the two swam away, the crowd cheered and applauded. So look, there's the little bird. But look at that. See all the people up here cheering, yay! And there they go. So they put them back in the same place they found her because that's her home. So she would know where she was. She could raise her baby in the same place where she grew up. The people placed a sign in the shallow waterway warning boaters to slow down and watch for manatees. And from then on, that's exactly what the boaters did. See the sign? It says, slow down, manatees. Pelican is up there. Oh, there's the manatees. There's another pelican. Oh, what a nice picture. So, it says here, there's a little note on the back about manatees. It says, while sharks have been known to attack very young manatees, full-grown manatees have few, if any, natural enemies. The most common danger manatees encounter are the sharp blades of boat propellers. Boat accidents with manatees are unfortunate, but accidents nonetheless. I know a lot of boat captains, and I have seen them carefully navigating shallow waters, watching out for manatees swimming before their bow and pointing to manatees in order to warn other boaters of their presence. But accidents do occur, and the wounds a manatee receives from sharp propeller blades can be fatal. My wife Deanna and I have been privileged to meet some of the people dedicated to rescuing injured manatees. Just getting the huge animals out of their natural habitat and into the holding tanks where they can be nursed back to health is a monumental job, a huge job. Know-how and care is also necessary to successfully release a fully recovered manatee back into the wild. This story is fiction. That means it's a pretend story. But it was inspired by a very real and recent rescue of a badly injured manatee that was later discovered to be carrying a calf. I wondered what it was like for a wild manatee inside such a small tank. The manatee gave birth while in captivity. Both mother and calf were eventually released in their natural habitat. Jim Arnosky. And there's the back of the book. Isn't that cool? So we see lots of manatees down here. I've seen them in my boat. I've seen them from the dock and from other docks when I've been like at restaurants and stuff around town and in the ocean. It's very cool. So I hope we see some manatees while you're down here so that you get to see them too. They're very gentle, slow moving, and they just swim through the water just so peacefully. All right. Good night, Evan. Have a sweet, sweet night's rest and sweet dreams. And I love you. Good night.